So I guess bring us in, Keeper.
Yeah, the same me.
What the hell? What are you doing?
Yeah. No, we put you in charge, remember?
Well, you guys have fucked up once again. Welcome, everybody, to Torchlit Tavern's Halloween special. We have some exciting guest action today. Maybe.
We do?
Maybe not. Find out, suckers!
What? We don't have a guest.
I fucked that up.
I didn't agree to a guest.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Torchlit Tavern.
You're starting again?
Today, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm starting again, Ryan. I fucked up the last one that's been deleted. Why you gotta put me on a spot like that, man?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I deleted it.
Yeah.
It's out.
Today we are beginning what I have promised to be a one-part Halloween special, but you all have been here and you all know that that'll be at least 2 parts. So today, Mitch, am your keeper, and I am being joined by some of our legacy cast here. Everybody, let's go around the table. To my left is...
Hold on. Is it just us here today?
Yeah.
It's just that, yeah. No, I did not agree to having a guest. It was too much. We're trying to take it easy on the off season, remember?
I mean, he said we've got guests. I don't know.
I thought I heard we had a guest.
Anyway, to his left, whatever that means nowadays, is Jameson Oxford, normally your dungeon master. Today, playing the Gumshoe in Monster of the Week, because this is our Halloween episode once again. So yeah, I'm the Gumshoe. My name is Detective Tate Moss, and we'll talk more about him later. But for now, to my left.
Hey, it's Ryan, and today I am playing, once again, Orangey Pritchett, the Spooky.
Ooh. Ba-da-da-da.
It's Jeff, here joining you as the Irish Railway Man, the Mundane, Marley O'Sannesee. It's good to be here. And what do we do now, Keeper?
Well, we're gonna do some train sweeping, because we ain't no tavern today. So, no, it's been a long time since you guys have heard from me. It's good to be back. Don't forget, you can find Torchlit Tavern on all kinds of platforms. All you gotta do is look up Torchlit Tavern. We're on Facebook, we're on Patreon, we're on Twitter, we're on a whole bunch of other stuff. Plug us into Google, you'll find us.
We have all of those things.
But you probably won't find anything super recent because we've been on a little bit of a hiatus as we go from Campaign 1 to Campaign 2. You're going to see our holiday episodes that we love to do, but they're going to be infrequent for the holiday, and then eventually we will start up Campaign 2. That is the intent, but we're just taking a break.
We'll keep you updated.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated. We'll try to keep you entertained.
We also have a TikTok that I'm hoping to get us all to be more active on, you fucking pieces of shit.
No.
I haven't got a call in for that.
And we have the Twitch, which we do bi-weekly. We're doing a campaign that doesn't involve Jay as the DM again, which he loves. And we have just recently started doing a sideshow on that in preparation for the next campaign. So if you want to get some more campaign information, come on down to the Twitch. I can't tell you which week it'll be that stuff, but you'll figure it out, I'm sure.
And the newest place that you'll be able to find us, which I hope will be live by the time you hear me say this on the air, is our Discord, which we are currently, at the time of recording, setting up for user and listener engagement. So it's going to be a place that we can offer some more private access to our Patreons. You can chat with us, you can chat with our guests, you can see what's going on, and the normal people can too. So it's open to everyone. Obviously, if you're a Patreon, you get special privileges because you are our beloved corporate overlords. And without any further ado, I think that leaves us ready to start. Once again, our investigators find themselves in a luxurious train car, well beyond the normal means with which they could afford. However, the rail car driver company has provided for them greatly once again. The familiar fountain for soda pop sits at the bar, and the train car is pleasantly quiet, despite the sound of the wheels on the track and the occasional blow of the whistle as the engine vents steam. It has been some time, over 6 years in fact, since the players have been on a car like this. They take a moment to reintroduce themselves, reacquainting after a long period of seldom interaction, and enjoying the luxury and relative peace of the moment before venturing into what will no doubt be a desperate and trying time. The train attendant slides the door to the compartment open, and first to enter is Detective Tate Moss.
So, Tate Moss is a man in his late 30s, rail thin and taller than most. He is a Swedish-German immigrant currently living out of New York City, who, until a few years ago, made his living solving mysteries or disturbances for the transcontinental railway companies. But Woodson Guthrie, the strange, soft-spoken caretaker he hired for his offices, taught Detective Tate Moss some valuable lessons. 1, that the noble janitorial arts paid much better than he thought, and 2, that there's something messy going on in the lands of the Americas. The last 5 years, Detective Tate Moss has done his best to learn what he could from Guthrie, but it was like trying to copy some sort of alien demigod, and eventually Moss had to go back to what he knew best: investigation. 5 years later, and the railway no longer employs him regularly, but Moss still rides the rails to remote corners of Manifest Destiny's dead ends, resolving the quieter, nastier issues of the country. He hasn't been in touch with his more occult friends, determined lately to prove that they are either wrong about the nature of the world, or learn more about the unnatural world for himself. The only person still receiving semi-regular correspondence is Marley O'Sannesee, as Tate Moss tries to compare notes on what he finds out in the American outskirts.
Detective Moss settles himself into the compartment, and shortly thereafter, the door, opened again by the same smiling attendant, admits Marley O'Sannesee.
Marley O'Sannesee is an old-blood Irishman out of New York City who's been working on the railroad for years and has become well-known in the industry by the workers and the industry itself. After his first couple jobs consulting with Detective Moss, he began to take on other work in his spare time. He began to see signs in more cases and learn the truth. Being an old blood, he already was pretty superstitious. Now he's begun to help people out, but that doesn't mean he doesn't swing that spike hammer when he needs to and work that railroad to keep his pockets full. Over the last 5 years, he's become more intimate with the unknown and still keeps in contact with Detective Moss, at least every now and again.
The party so far, Detective Moss and Mr. O'Shaughnessy, spend a considerable amount of time waiting, in fact, wondering when their third party member is to arrive, because Detective Moss had been informed that Orangey Pritchett had also been invited to this endeavor, though he did not know yet what the endeavor was. After some time, there is a rustling sound towards the back of the cavern, and Orangey Pritchett steps out of the cargo compartment, rattling a glass of favorite sarsaparilla.
Fantastic.
I got you.
Thank you very much. Orangey walks in with some, like you said, some wonderful, wonderful sarsaparilla. And they are going through what I can only describe as a bit of a black parade phase. They're looking the clothes are a little more tight, let's say. They're not as loosey-goosey as they were before. But the black makeup is actually makeup now and not shoe polish or mud. And the hair is cut a little closer to the shoulders, but it's not quite as raggedy. They're looking a little more clean cut, weirdly. But they're here, and they have been trying to figure out the strange mystery behind the necklace that they found that gives them their powers, and not knowing very many people out in the world and not really corresponding with anyone at all whatsoever, and not having any leads. They've just kind of been floating around the country. Last known position they were in Wichita, Kansas, having heard that perhaps someone might know something there, but immediately got correspondence from Marley O'Sannesee and left immediately.
Well, as they say, we're not in Kansas anymore. We're in fact on the railway moving west. Once again towards the Arizona-Nevada territories. Seems like a lot of things happen way out west. The attendant chimes the bell at the door and enters once again. And this time he leads in a messenger, who greets the party of investigators. Good day, Mr. Moss, he says, looking around the cabin, unsure of who he's addressing.
Detective Tate Moss, rail thin, bowler cat, tips it off. Excuse me, thank you. Yes, my name is Tate Moss. It is good to see you.
I have been given this correspondence that I am led to believe is your working orders for this endeavor that you're on. And good luck. He hands it to you, and he departs.
Thank you.
The messenger attendant hands a note to I keep wanting to say doctor. Hands a note to Detective Tate Moss.
Yes,
It is written on fine paper, scrolled in fine,
went to janitorial
ornate
school. I'm a doctor now.
handwriting, scrolled in fine, ornate handwriting, and reads as follows. Dear Moss and Company, stop.
Okay.
I have encountered an issue in our region that I believe you could assist with. Stop. Please take with your utmost urgency to the town that I've indicated below and assist us with this problem. Stop. Payment has been arranged, as well as travel expenses have been arranged with your former employer, the railway company. Stop. I hope that you will find that these conditions are to your liking, and I hope that you will be able to assist us in what we seek to resolve as urgently as possible. Stop. I do implore you that the pay will be compelling, as well as the fact that our issues have been affecting the great many lives of immigrants such as yourself. Stop. I hope to see you again soon, and I hope that you travel well and safely. Stop.
I don't know what I'm supposed to stop, Marley. No, I'm kidding.
I know. It's, yeah. I realized what I was doing to you guys, and I'm sorry.
So, another mystery on our hands. And this time, the mystery's who hired us, huh?
Yes, everything is a mystery.
Oh,
Orangey, it's good to see ya.
you as well, Marley. Hello, Moss.
Hello, Orangey. It's good to see you too.
Well, it's good to have someone of your like around.
Yes, happy to be here.
So, Moss, did go well.
The train continues to travel onward, moving steadily forward to its final destination. The party settles in, they enjoy the luxurious state of the suite, and they look forward to another mystery, though they are unsure as to how it will play out, or even who their contracted employer is. Many things that they hope will be revealed in time, things that will be revealed soon indeed. Many hours of a train ride later, the detectives, full of soda and luxury, arrive at an old, dingy train station. Once again, not much more than a platform and a check-in booth. The train rolls with its wheels screeching to a stop on the iron rails, and they depart. The weather is hot, the land is open and barren, there's very little here. The horizon is dotted with mesas and a sparse accoutrement of ragged old, sad, dead trees, shrubberies, bushes, and rock outcroppings. Once again, they are greeted by an attendant. Detective Moss and Company, I presume?
I tip my hat.
I have been requested to direct you to the saloon up the road. That is where your contract will meet you. I apologize, but you do not have much time as the train came in later than expected.
Okay. I sort of lean over to Marley and Orangey and I say, as Marley said before, be prepared. We don't really know what we're walking into, but that's become pretty standard for us nowadays, hasn't it?
Relatively. Marley, he reaches into his peacoat pocket and pulls out a small box. Upon opening it, you notice that it's rounds, but not normal rounds. They seem to be special in some way. And as he looks at him, he looks over and he goes, well, now I'm a little bit more prepared. And he checks him over, and he closes him, and he puts him back in his pocket. And then he takes the revolver out from behind his back, clicks it, breaks it open, makes sure that his rounds are solid in there, and puts it back behind his back. I think I'm ready for anything.
What are those?
Oh, those? Well, in our time away, I got me some special rounds for the old Colt. Those are silver. Well, most of them. Silver, blessed by a priest, coated in holy oils. I have a couple in there that are different. I got a wood one. Believe it or not, that comes in handy.
That reminds me. And Detective Moss runs back onto the train before it takes off.
Mr. Moss, we're departing, sir. And the train starts moving forward.
I step out the back end as it goes by with a mop and bucket and my camera suitcase.
Roll me an act under pressure. The train is moving about 12 miles an hour by the time you get your things.
Fantastic.
And
that it's cool, right? I believe that's a plus cool.
yeah,
Act under pressure, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a 7.
that's
Well, you didn't completely fail.
that's something happens and
Yeah.
you don't die, but it's not
Yeah.
great, correct?
There's a repercussion to me succeeding. Is what it typically is.
So
Let me,
what do you
I'll
do is
pull
you
it up.
exit the back of the train. The train has pulled away to such extent that you are sort of running down the back of the train to get out of it to catch up with the platform, and you find yourself exiting the tail car just before it leaves the platform.
Okay.
What do you do?
I mean, I'm trying to roll this mop and bucket out the back end and onto the thing. I just feel like it just doesn't go as smoothly as it could have.
Your mop bucket, the wheels, they don't catch the platform properly, and you are presented with the opportunity to save yourself or your mop.
It's wheeled?
Of course, it's a mop and bucket. They're always
Yeah.
weird.
That was just a regular ass bucket. All right, cool.
No. So you're asking me for a price to pay?
Yeah, the price to pay, your choice is,
Because
you know
this
in your
is
moment
monster
of duress that you can save yourself or your mop.
Save myself or the mop?
Yep.
Well, the mop is going to break because I'm going to save myself, sadly. And that's why I never quite made it as a janitor. That being said, it's really sad because when the mop... So what happens is, as I'm trying to step out, I get tangled up in the mop and bucket, and the mop flies out, and you realize that it is not a mop, it is a gun, because I learned from Mr. Guthrie. And as I try to cross the back end of the train onto the thing, the gun mop gets attached to both ends of the walkway and just snaps it in half at the handle, and I go falling forward. The water gets dumped all over me. It's great. Thank you. Thanks, Keeper.
You're welcome. I'm glad we were able to discuss such important business.
Yep.
You do have a short time period to move to the saloon. I assume that you do that next, but you may do whatever you wish.
I'm gonna walk over and assist Moss back to his feet.
Scheisse.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Marley does the same. Marley goes,
No.
"Oh, if you weren't coming, you'd be going. I'll tell you that much."
Thank you, Marley. Thank you, Orangey. And I shake out my sodden clothing, and I go, well...
I step back.
I reach into my bag and I give you I give you a rag and I go, "Wipe yourself down."
Thanks. Well...
So, Orangey,
Yes.
You have come to terms with a bit of your nature, and it's hot here. It's too fucking hot here. It is nearly enragingly hot here. And while you are outside, in the day, in the sun, in the elements, you are filled with just a brewing, seething rage.
Is this? Oh, am I?
Because you
Am I having a mood swing?
have a dark trait.
Right now, I didn't do anything.
It's hot! You're in Nevada!
It causes my mood swings. I don't know about you.
You're wearing black in Nevada, my friend. Let me tell you.
Speaking as somebody who's both wearing black and in Nevada, he's right. It's
Moss, I know you're having some trouble there, but if we do not get to the saloon quickly, we're gonna have problems.
Yes, absolutely. Marley, let's go. I'm sure that the sun will dry me out on our way at this rate.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
You move forward down the road. It's easy to find. This town, much like the other one, much like many in the area, is very little more than a road traveling away from the railways, with homes and stalls built on either side.
I walk up to a railway attendant and I go, "Where'd you put my mule?"
Excuse me, sir. What mule?
My mule.
Molly, I don't know if you've noticed,
He was
but
on the train.
the train has left.
I was told you were taking care of him.
Yes, sir. He's at the stables, where we take care of animals, while their owners are on business.
You didn't put the mule on the train?
No, sir. It was all expenses paid ahead for 3 passengers, sir.
How do you expect me to get around without me mule?
On your feet, sir.
He gets up in this attendant's face and he grabs a handful of his jacket and he goes,
Act under pressure. The attendant pulls out a switchblade.
"Let's do this. I'm ready."
Excuse me?
I see that the stations in Arizona have not quite changed.
We're in Nevada.
Nevada, whatever. What's the difference?
They're both hot and miserable,
Fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Who cares?
What's
More
what do you
mesas?
what do you add to act under pressure?
Act under pressure is cool.
All right, so I just made 7.
So he takes a shot at you when you grab him, and you are able to back away. And he cuts through the front of your coat, and he just holds it out in a low brandishing position. Don't touch me, sir.
Marley goes, "You know, I've had quite a day. Quite a few days. Where someone's pulled a knife on me."
I'm going to walk up behind Marley, and I'm going to just
sir.
start moving him away because it's very hot, and I need to leave right fucking now. But
You, sir, are the bravest.
as we are walking away, I'm going to turn around, and my eyes are going to go entirely white, and my hair is going to stand up, and I'm going to cast Hex as we are leaving.
You do that.
Yes. We should get Orangey to somewhere safe because at the rate our clothes are being ruined, they are next.
As they are pushing me away, Marley is yelling, "I'll be sending a bill for this coat.
I rolled
Coats cost money, you know."
a 5 and 3 plus 2 weird. The target contracts a disease. You
Oh
see
my
them
God.
kind of bowl over just a little bit, and they start coughing up blood. And I whisper to Marley, "Don't worry about it, or you're next. Let us continue."
And just like that, cholera was introduced to Nevada.
Fantastic.
All right. Well, yes. Let's get you to that saloon. And Marley almost swoops you up to make this move faster.
Many thanks.
We go. We do it. We go to the next location.
I've gotten a bit better at the magic thing.
I see that.
When you
It's
arrive at the
terrifying.
saloon, it is dimly lit, as all saloons are, because we are pre-electricity, ladies and gentlemen.
Bullshit.
But the windows are open, and there are no
Gaslighting.
screens.
Ah,
It's daytime. You don't waste gas during the day.
Thank you, Ryan, for getting the
yep.
There wasn't a joke there.
Sure.
There was absolutely no joke about gaslighting.
It was literal.
Didn't happen. You arrive in the saloon, and there's a table with a small paper card pinned up in the corner that says Moss and Company. That is obviously, it has been set aside for you.
Okay.
At the saloon,
It's all laid out.
I immediately go up to the bar and order a sarsaparilla.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. The person tries to address you formally, doesn't really know how because their brain is firing in both directions. That will be on the tab, I presume.
Yes, thank you.
And they give you a sarsaparilla with
Wonji, I've
ice.
seen you order 5 of those in the last hour.
Don't worry about it.
With
Oh,
ice.
Okay.
I like them.
With ice in Nevada.
Marley goes, "Is your beer worth a shit, or should I just order the whiskey?"
I would order the whiskey, sir. The beer is worth shit.
Perfect. Give me a whiskey. Make it strong.
Rocks or not, sir?
You got rocks here.
Yes, sir. And he points to Orangey, who has, 5 or 6 ice cubes in their glass.
Look at you, quite fancy. Are you gonna charge me extra for it? Actually, it's not on my tab anyway. Put the rocks in there. In fact, give me the whole bottle.
And they do.
He grabs the bottle and the glass with the ice, and he walks to the table.
Moss?
Moss, are you gonna get anything?
A clean towel, and is the water clean here?
Yes, you may afford water for drinking on your tab if you like.
Yes, water for drinking and a clean towel, if you don't mind. I have a mess to clean up.
He points you to your table. I'll bring your things to you shortly. And he directs you to where you're supposed to be seated. Takes a moment, brings things out on a brass platter, and provides you all the remainder of your things. For Detective Moss, a warm towel, and a glass of iced drinking water. After barely a moment's wait, it is made evidently clear who your patron is, as they enter the tavern. Justine, go ahead and introduce yourself and your character.
Wait. I thought we weren't getting a guest this episode.
Yeah,
There you
what is
I
this?
asked you about this.
Look,
Yeah.
it's
Been lied to.
it is a mystery. It is a mystery.
Wait,
All right?
is Ryan playing Justine? Is that a new character? Is he doubling up?
Yes.
Hello.
okay.
Hello.
Wow,
that
Ryan, that's
voice is
impressive.
fantastic, Ryan.
Thank you. I got really good at them.
Hi, Justine.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. Looking forward to being a guest.
Thanks for joining
This
us.
is actually my first podcast, so I'm super excited.
Hell yeah.
Oh my god. That's so cool. You're on ours. We are honored.
Yeah, who are you
Well-
playing with us today?
Yeah.
I am playing Janny Waters, a recent widow who is who is the expert,
Okay.
also a
what's the
librarian.
what's the expert's sort of moveset or
What's their
shtick?
shtick? Yeah, what's their deal?
Yeah.
I have dedicated my life to the study of the unnatural. I know their habits and their weaknesses. I may not be the youngest or the strongest, but my knowledge makes me the biggest threat.
All right.
So not so
right.
much combat, mainly knowledge-based. I do have a flamethrower, though, because apparently a flamethrower is on my list for some reason for monster slaying
Wow.
weapons.
I mean, they are an expert. So
That is a wild choice. All right.
Dude,
I'm into it.
flamethrowers even exist in this time period is really my first and only
Who
question.
cares? She's a guest. She doesn't have to follow the rules.
I don't know, actually. I suppose I should actually introduce myself and stuff, huh?
Yeah.
That would kind of be
maybe
relevant.
that might be good.
Might be.
Yeah, so my name's Justine. I go by Zelfie Forever on almost anything social media. I am a cosplayer and costume designer for various independent short films and some theater productions. I am also a social media manager, just starting out in that. And
Wow. Okay, we need to talk to her about that.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Quite possibly.
yeah, my background is in film and television, but since COVID happened, I've had to change careers.
For sure.
Oh.
Is there anywhere we can, like, check out your stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. I mainly use Instagram for my costuming stuff. That is Zelfie Forever, XELFI, letter 4, and then the word ever.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I also have a Twitch stream where, also under the same username. Haven't really done much on that yet, but hoping to ramp that up a little more now that I'm starting to have a little more time. And yeah, that's basically me.
Rad. Thanks for coming on and
Yeah.
doing your thing.
Good to have you.
And how did you know Mitch? He's the one who brought you on.
Yes, so I know Mitch through his Lost to the Aether LARP. I play Dwarf, which some of you may have heard of, some of you might not, but Dwarf is... my real name is Asvor Deepstein, but no one ever remembers that. Everyone just calls me Dwarf. Yes, I wear a beard, because dwarven women wear beards, damn it.
Yes. Yeah, it's canon in my world.
I was like,
And so, yeah, that's where I know
you
Mitch.
wear a beard. Do you take it off? Okay.
No.
You gotta clarify. She said she wears a beard, not that she grew a beard. It's two different things.
Yes, it's a yarn beard made by my fabulous friend Sky.
Hell yeah.
Don't believe she's taking commissions right now on Etsy, but she is fabulous.
Well, thank Justine for joining us. And so, I guess, describe your character since our keeper's gone.
All right, he did say that I walked into the the saloon, huh?
That's where we're picking back up, I'm sure.
Yes. All right. So, stepping into the saloon, you see a woman who looks to be in her early 20s, who is wearing a rather nice Western dress. That as she walks, you can see that it has a split down the middle, and she's wearing trousers and boots underneath. But when she's standing still, it folds together like a dress, so you can't really see it unless she's moving. She has brown curly hair pulled up in a low ponytail underneath a wide-brimmed hat. And she will look around for a bit and see you all sitting at the table and make her way over to you all. Okay. Southern Belle accent. Oh lord. I practiced this.
Hell yeah.
It'll probably be awful.
It's okay.
I just want you to know that that is perfectly acceptable. Awful is a staple of the Torchlit Tavern brand.
Agreed.
It's true.
Okay. Detective Moss, I presume?
Detective Moss, who's been trying to blot out his coat for the last 30 minutes, just looks up and goes, oh, yes. And he throws the towel on the table and steps up and takes his hat off. Yes. Have we met? I haven't seen her name in any of the correspondence, correct?
No.
Okay, yeah. Are you the one we're meeting here?
Yes, Janny Waters. I was the one that sent you the letter, and I'm supposing since you're here, you got the letter.
Yes, we did. Apparently you got hold of all of us.
Well, you've gotten somewhat of a reputation out in these parts.
Really?
We have a reputation.
People don't know me.
Yeah, Orangey. I don't know if anyone's ever heard of them before, or will again.
Well, usually you're referenced as Detective Tate Moss and Company.
Hey, reference to where?
And I'll pull out a leaflet and show it to you all.
Okay. I take this leaflet from her and I thumb through it. What do I see, Keeper? This feels like a trap.
It is. It is absolutely a trap. Detective Moss, I'm going to need you to roll an act under pressure, or just roll me a cool.
Oh, what?
Because you have never been flustered like this in public before.
Okay.
This is a level of embarrassment close to when you found out how much more your janitor made than you.
Okay, well, I thumbed through it and I rolled a 9. Gives me a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay for what I don't understand, but that's what's happening as I thumb through this.
Good. So you flip through it, and immediately you see your name, Detective Moss, Tate Moss, Detective Tate Moss, on several pages, and it catches you off guard. And You then read through it again.
What is...
And it is about you. And it is about Marley O'Sannesee. And it even is about Orangey and your other compatriots from before. It is some sort of short narrative leaflet about your adventures.
Are there illustrations?
Yeah, Buster
Yes.
is in this. What is this?
There are illustrations.
Does that say Detective Tate Moss and Company? Like,
It does.
Marley looks at you
And I
goes,
immediately hold it out to everyone on an illustrated page.
Moss, how long have you had a company? And can I work there?
Marley looks at it and he goes, "Well, I'll be damned. Buster isn't that? How did Buster get on a fucking leaflet and couldn't make it to the fucking couldn't make it here? This is absolutely bullshit, I'll tell you that."
For the listeners who may be concerned, we're going to pan back several hundred miles. And Buster sits cozy in a stall. And he enjoys a bucket full of prime alfalfa and oats. Back to you guys.
I stare lovingly down at the picture of Buster. Me and Buster and I bonded.
Because you fucked up
at
when
one point.
he handed you the leaflet on your Act Under Pressure. You got flustered, and when we went to hold it to him, you did, but you tore out the page of the book. So you've got, in one hand you've got the book, and in the other hand you have the illustration page, and it's very embarrassing.
I look up at this not young lady, right? Are
Early
you a
20s.
young lady?
I haven't decided on the age.
Middle-aged for West.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, late teens.
Yeah. Young adult.
I look up at this lady and go, "Did you make these? If you didn't, who did? And where did you get it? Are there more? I have so many questions."
I'll be answered, I'm sure. I work for a branch of a library within the cities. Me and my girls came out here to spread leaflets and pamphlets and newspapers and literature to this fine town. We ride around on our pack horses and deliver them to all the farmers and the homesteaders that are living here.
There's a likes and dislikes for each of us. How did you know I like sarsaparilla?
My sources are very varied, and I know a lot of people connected to you.
You have liberty to say whatever you want here.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how much. I wasn't sure how much
No,
I was
you're
allowed
good.
to.
You're good.
To
Say
know
what you
about
need
them.
to. Say what you need to. You're a guest. You're the only person on this episode that matters.
It's true. And these are done once a year, which means if you take wild swings, we're just gonna roll with it.
So, hold on here. This is about the spooky shit that we were in here that we dealt with last time we were around here. But why does anyone know about this, one? And two, if what you brought us here for relates to this, which would make sense, Orangey's here, right? What, pray tell, do you need us for?
Yes, well, I suppose I should get to that, and then she will take a seat and take off her hat. So, most people around here consider these a work of fiction, or tall tales, as you might call it. But
Yeah, I
there
would have at
have
one
been
point, too.
some occurrences. So, the reason why I wired you all to come here was that over the last year and a half, there's been a surprising amount of unusual deaths in the area. Me and my girls have just recently came here, so we're still in the middle of some researching. But it's not as far as I know, it's not uncommon for drownings to happen and during a rainy season due to flash floods. But these last 18 months, we've seen over 14 deaths, which is very high.
That is quite high.
Deaths by drowning.
Yes,
In
which
the
is...
desert.
Yes, that's why it's so unusual. They seem to be happening in open stretches of the desert, not in a valley with no hills nearby. There's not really any reason for a flash flood that serious.
I gotta ask the keeper, is it rainy season? Because, Marley's a traveler, right? He's been all around, so he kind of knows.
It
these
is
areas.
the western U.S. And so if there's anyone that doesn't really know how the weather works out here, it is not the rainy season, but it is the pre-rainy season. The season where you get rain, but you don't get it's not unheard of for it to happen, but you don't get a lot of it.
Right.
Be pretty difficult for people to drown.
Right. So
Yes.
Marley looks at you even more puzzled and goes, You're aware it's not even close to the right... Well, it's close, but it's not even the season in which you should be getting anywhere near enough rain for someone to drown in.
Yes, I'm aware. That's why I called you. I thought it was something suspicious.
That's what I thought.
Okay, all right. Just, crossing the T's, dotting the I's,
She seems well informed as to what we do, Marley. Obviously she called us because we, deal with these sort of
Marley
things.
O'Shaughnessy, the brains of the party.
Yeah.
You know everything about us and our endeavors, but you're aware that it's hard to drown with no water, right?
I hold it up and I go, this says Detective Tate Moss and Company versus the vampires. What the hell?
Well, that's just patently false. We didn't fight any vampires.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I didn't with you. I did come across what I was pretty sure was a bloodsucker, but when I put the wood bullet in him, he died. But that could have been anything.
Yeah, the people die when you put bullets in them, Marley.
Yes, unless they don't, which is a thing that I've had to worry about.
What was that bloodsucker's name?
The one that I put a bullet in.
Yes.
Oh, the one I put a bullet in. He was a weird man, Frederick Marx.
Okay, not the one I know. Okay.
Anyway, so yes, Jenny.
And Orangey, you can
Jenny,
corroborate
yeah.
that story.
Jenny.
Once you get the pamphlet, you can corroborate that story is true, but they weren't there.
So Jenny, what is it? Never mind. You want us to investigate these murders? What is your vested interest in the area?
Well, as we want to start a library and a school, it is dangerous for me and my girls right now to venture out into the more uncivilized areas with the farmers and the sharecroppers. And we would just like to have a little bit of reassurance that our flooding problem has been taken care of. Also, I have made a few friends, and some of them have been recent victims of this flooding.
All right, all good. Do you have any leads that we can follow up on? Where the murders happened, someone that you might find suspicious?
Hold
No,
on.
'cause we don't
I wanna
even know
start
that
with
they're
it. I want
murders.
to start with what seems like an obvious question,
Well,
but it's not. In these situations where people drowned, did it actually rain?
Yes, it did.
All right. Well, that narrows it down slightly there.
did it rain a lot?
I haven't gotten that information yet.
Did it?
All right.
Was it? So it was wet around them, but there was no like pool for them to be in.
No.
Yeah. Victims?
Oh, how frequent were the murders? How were they spaced?
Deaths.
Very, very random. No patterns that I could discern.
No, Detective Moss is 100% assuming murder. Nobody drowns in 3 inches of rain.
Yeah, it always happened during a rain, but other than that, not
3 inches
outstanding.
of rain is an impressive amount of rain compared to
Whatever.
what they should be getting right now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, did it rain directly
Yeah,
into their
that's
mouth?
overshooting.
Like,
It's still not going to matter.
Final question. When was the last murder?
So that would be the Jacobsons. They're in their family. Mr. Jacobson was buried last week. His family is in town, but I don't have many details as it was more recent and I didn't think it wise to pry.
He was buried last week?
Oh, yeah, Billy. Yeah, I heard them
Yes.
people can't even swim. I heard that's why it's not gonna...
I have just
that's why they
one
dying.
quick question before we jet off on what's assured to be quite an interesting investigation, as he puts air quotes up. Where's the nearest bar?
Marley is interrupted as the man in the table next to them stands up abruptly. And there'd been some yelling outside, but it wasn't really pertaining to you guys, so it hadn't mattered. But the gentleman next to you stands up abruptly and he bumps his chair into Marley's. Apologies, sir. And he's a tall, dark man wearing a long and respectable, well-made cloak and a wide-brimmed hat. And he steps outside and he says,
I'm gonna have to ask you gentlemen to not disrespect the dead.
and you become a little bit more aware of what's happening. You see two drunkards looking very shabby-like, and cowboys in the worst sense of the word, standing outside in the front, squaring up like they're gonna start something.
Oh, you hear that, Cletus? He thinks he can tell us what to do. I'm not looking for any trouble, gentlemen, but I'm gonna have to ask you not to disrespect the dead like that. Well, you ain't Cletus, he ain't looking for trouble, Cletus.
Cletus reaches his hand down around a belt. 5 shots. The two antagonists reel backwards and collapse onto the floor. Blood begins to soak through their dirty, off-colored shirts, and they lay there still, shot dead. The patron who had stepped up and bumped Marley's chair lowers his revolver, opens the chamber, and reloads 2 shells. Outside the crowd claps gently, and the sheriff steps forward. Nice shooting there, Mr. Jacobson. We all seen what happened. You go ahead and make your way home. You have a good day, sir. And the patron tips his hat and makes his way down the road.
Orangey gets up from the floor because Orangey dropped as soon as they heard shots.
Moss,
Smart call.
Moss has thumbed the triggers on his double barrel beneath his long coat, and is putting the hammers down gently and turning to Marley.
Marley, as soon as Marley's already at the door. Before the shots rang out, he ran to the door, which also I'm going to mark an experience because questionably that's dangerous or scary.
Yes.
You going off alone there, Mundane?
Yes.
Anybody who doesn't
Thanks
remember,
to-
he gets the ability to just gain experience for doing dumb shit.
Yes.
So, Janny would have hit the deck as well and drawn a magnum from her clutch.
Jesus, this girl is packing so hard.
This girl is loaded in every way.
I'm in the doorway, and because of my mundane move, don't worry, I'll check it out and get to mark experience. And also because of what could go wrong, whenever you charge into immediate danger without hedging your bets, you get to hold 2.
Wait, hold on. I wanna clarify something real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
So you said, just so I heard correctly, that Mr. Jacobson was buried last week.
Yes.
Okay, and that was Mr. Jacobson.
Yes.
Okay.
Just wanted to be clear. Okay.
It's a different
He died.
Mr. Jacobson.
It took him
I assume.
3 weeks to bury him.
I was gonna imagine it was a different one, but maybe not.
I mean, y'all don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, you've shared all the information. I mean, she has a little bit more information than you guys that hasn't been shared yet, but, like, you're all on the same page there.
Okay.
Yeah. I do believe we should maybe follow that Mr. Jacobson.
I believe we should follow Molly.
As Mr. Jacobson begins to walk away, he goes, pardon me there, sir. Jacobson, was that your name?
Yes, sir. My last name is Jacobson.
So, just to ensure everything's all resolved here, you're fine and well and good, of course.
He looks at the 2 dead men on the ground and he spits on them. Seems like it's fine to me.
You know, they're not even worth the spit that came out your mouth there, I'm sure. But a quick question. Such a crack shot as yourself, what are you doing out here?
Came out here to live with my family. And if you don't mind, I'd like to get back to him before more of them hooligans show up.
Oh, of course.
Pleasure to meet you, sir. And he holds out his hand. And you think he's going to shake your hand, and he's actually not. He shoots right past your hand, and he goes, "Looks like you're a lucky one. Almost got you there." And he runs his finger through a hole in your coat where one of the bullets that they had discharged had narrowly missed you.
I go, it does appear that way. You know, it's
Then
a bit
he
of the
shakes
old
your
Irish.
hand. Then he shakes your hand. Name's Grant Jacobson. Nice to meet you, sir.
Marley O'Sannesee, it's a pleasure.
I was hoping, since you are here, that we could ask you a few questions. Your surname came up in a conversation just
It's
before you
unfortunate,
arrived.
sir, that I am not here. And he tips his hat and continues. He's there. He just left.
So,
Can I help you gentlemen with something? And the sheriff steps forward. As you can see, Mr. Jacobson's recently been through an ordeal. I think it best we let him cool down. Orangey, it's hot.
I'm indoors with the
Absolutely.
sarsaparilla. I don't know what you want from me.
Okay, then you're good. Yeah, you're fine. You're solid.
it is
You're
hot.
like,
That's why she's
you are-
inside.
Orangey is giddy
I'm
as fuck.
cool-
Like, Orangey is super
cool as a
excited.
cucumber.
Orangey's got their sarsaparilla. Orangey's inside. Orangey just saw some people got. Orangey's having a great day. Orangey's having a great
It's very
day.
exciting in this town.
So, yes, you're the sheriff. I imagine. I look at his star.
Yes, sir.
What is your name, sir? My name is Detective Tate Moss. This is Marley O'Shaughnessy. Is Jenny with us?
Yeah.
It's up to her.
Marley tips his newsboy cap.
Yeah, I would have gone along just to see what all
Okay.
the ruckus was about, but
Mrs. Waters, it's a pleasure to see you.
You've met. We've been hired by the lovely Miss Waters to look into the murders in your town. Could you give us more information on these?
he's talking about the flooding, Sheriff. The strange flooding's going on.
Oh, yeah. That's what I assumed you was into. I figured that so much.
I hear Mr. Jacobson just lost a family member to it.
Yeah, I don't know much about that, but yeah, I heard about it. I ain't have no official report, though.
Certainly. If you'll excuse me, Marley goes and gets his bottle of
my name
whiskey.
is Sheriff Locky, and if you'd like to come down to my station, I can get you what information I have.
When he doesn't seem to know who died, I turn to Janny and I just lift an eyebrow at her.
I can't recall if Jacobson Sr. had a son.
Okay.
So y'all want to come down station, check out what I got? We can cross notes or whatever, see if we can get some work done on this, or y'all, by all means, welcome to finish your drinks as well, if that's what suits your interest.
Marley's already walked back with his whole bottle of whiskey. He left the glass, but he's got the bottle of whiskey because he bought it, so it's his.
I mean, he didn't buy it, but yeah.
Technically,
Marley
it's
walks
mine,
back
but
out with Miss Waters' bottle of whiskey.
Correct. And Marley takes a swig and he goes, "Oh, we'll be right behind you there, Sheriff."
I walk out with a bottle of sarsaparilla and I say, I am going to follow Mr. Jacobson.
You have selected an adequate armor for your condition. The sarsaparilla on the ice will do well to stave off your negative condition, but only so long as it persists, and you know that that's a matter of time.
Understood. It's okay. I can always come back. Our tab's still open.
Orangey, are you sure you're going off alone in this area?
I think I'll be okay. I know where the sarsaparilla comes from. If you need me, I'll probably be there.
All right. We'll meet back up at the tavern.
Oh, yeah.
Orangey, like many Californians in summer, takes 5 steps outside, says fuck that, goes back inside to enjoy sarsaparilla for the rest of the day.
that is so true. Oh my god.
I'm going to slowly follow behind Mr. Jacobson. I would prefer that he did not know that I was actually following him.
There's a role for that.
Fantastic. What would you like?
I don't know what it is, though.
Act under pressure.
Yeah, that's probably it.
But Orangey has the section of the rulebook we don't speak about.
That's true. It would normally be an
So
act under pressure.
Orangey's options are extended far beyond what ours are.
That's true.
This is true. But no, I will just act under pressure, I guess. Yeah, that works. So that's a cool... I got a 5.
All right, act under pressure.
Mark experience.
Things go to hell for Orangey. Keeper, do your worst.
I get to mark experience.
Orangey, you begin to follow Mr. Jacobson. He cuts down the street and just dips into an alley. He's not being suspicious. He's just walking. And you wait a second and you come around the turn and you bump right into Mr. Jacobson.
Oh.
You didn't see him because he was bent over adjusting his boot, and you spill your sarsaparilla.
Oh.
Your cold sarsaparilla.
You son of a bitch.
Right down his back.
You son of... Oh.
He stands up quick, like a man who just got ice water pulled down his back in the heat of the battle.
Yeah, right down the crack.
Lightning
Oh
fast.
my goodness, I am so sorry. Are you okay?
Excuse me. Miss? My apologies. I didn't mean to get in your way. I'm gonna be on my way now.
No, I bumped into you. I
apologies.
apologize. I honestly, I wanted to come and offer you this drink as you just went through this ordeal, but as you can see, it is now just all over you.
Well, all right, he says with a chuckle. The good news is, my friend, is you have given me that drink.
I suppose I have.
I think that now I need to go and clean it off my coat, so I'll be taking care of that if you don't mind my departure.
May I help at least clean off your clothes for you while you go and do your thing? I feel it's awful.
It's hot.
Oh, god damn it.
God damn it. I don't know what this means, and I do not like it.
You can't just leave. You feel that shit start to bubble up, and you can try to contain it, or you can just be like, nope, not safe, not okay.
I'm truly sorry, and I just walk away really fast, but then I'm gonna stop around a corner, and I'm just gonna watch where he goes, so I at least know where he lives.
He just, shakes off, takes his shirt off, shakes off what he can, drops a couple ice cubes, drop on the floor. He picks one up, wipes it off on his pants, puts it in his mouth, and then heads down the road. And he's just heading towards a house at the end of the road.
Okay, I will, I'm going, as I see where he's heading.
Outside of the house, it's got a tie bar for a couple horses and a wagon.
Okay, noted.
Or sorry, a buggy.
Noted. I know where he is going, and I am going to head back to the saloon because I apparently need a refill now. Right this fucking second.
I'm sorry, Orangey got that bad roll.
No.
I did the worst I possibly could.
You. Yeah. I run back into the saloon, and I bust the doors open, and I say, I need another sarsaparilla now!
Yes, of course. One moment. Would you like it iced, or would you like? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. My apologies.
Meanwhile,
you wouldn't happen to have your glass from before, would you? And we'll move back to the other party.
Oh, we never established. Am I going with them on their escapades, like out of town to investigate,
absolutely
or am I just
up
here
to
to
you.
feed them info in the town?
That's absolutely up to you.
absolutely not.
I mean, you're here and you got a flamethrower. Why not?
Yeah, don't say that you're bringing a magnum and a flamethrower to the game and then not come with me. As we follow the sheriff, I turn to Jenny and I say, well, thank you for the start. We will get more information for you. Is there somewhere that we can come back to report to you, or?
Actually, I was wondering if I might come with you.
Are you sure it could get dangerous?
It depends what you know about where we're going. You've read our stories, apparently. How many other stories have you read?
Oh, there's been a few Bigfoot sightings around town occasionally, on the outskirts of the settlements.
There's no such thing as Bigfoot.
Oh no, there very much is. One of the good farmers out of town a ways scared him off of trying to eat his cows with a shotgun.
Yeah, I'm sure he says that.
Well, it's an odd place for a Bigfoot to be a desert, but I guess it's not entirely unheard of. Though I imagine it's probably something else.
Perhaps.
So you wish to come with us?
Y'all back there, y'all questioning Bigfoot? The sheriff says. No, he real.
Anyway.
That's what I was trying to tell
no,
him,
Sheriff.
Yeah,
No,
no,
Sheriff,
the Bigfoot's real. We see him.
Not
We
questioning.
got one of them lives around these parts.
Not questioning that there is a Bigfoot. Merely questioning whether it is a Bigfoot. I'm certain there's something very Bigfoot reminiscent, probably in the same family.
Marley, don't
we call him Jefferson.
Do not feed them, Marley. Do not.
We call him Jefferson. I don't know what his name is. He don't speak much, but we call him Jefferson. Everybody knows him.
Okay,
Ask anybody about Jefferson. They'll tell you about him.
On track. If you insist on coming with us, Johnny, you're welcome. You are the one footing the bill. I cannot very well say no, other than to say that it is dangerous, and I hope that you know how to use that weapon that I saw you pull.
Moss, remember when you fucked up that roll earlier?
Which roll?
You're still acting like a dumbass, and it is at this point that you realize that Janie has already walked with you all the way to the sheriff's office.
Just before we step in, I step in front of her and I go, before I was interrupted by all that ruckus, I did have a question for you. Where's the nearest body of water?
Hey, keeper.
That's gonna be Lake Greenwater, and that's about 19 miles northwest. The sheriff adds as he unlocks the door. Then we got Stillwater Creek, but that's been dry all season.
What feeds into the creek? Is it just the rain, or?
It's the rains when they come up from them mountains, and he points off towards the Rockies.
How far away from the Rockies are we? A good amount, right?
Pretty far.
Yeah.
It's a good amount. You're on like the ass end of a runoff. It's a runoff river somewhere. It's a runoff stream here. And yes, you can drown in 3 inches of water. So like you could kill a dude there, but it would be hard for someone to like drown there.
Yeah. So where does the town get most of their water supply then?
Well, and he points up the road and there's a well.
Perfect. How new is the well?
He looks at you and he looks down at his badge and he shifts it and he spits on it and he polishes it and he goes, "Oh, that's right. That says sheriff, not construction." And he moves inside.
Fucking fair enough then.
All right. He's a man of few talents, and sheriff is the only one.
He is very good at his job.
Good to hear. Sheriff, as we go in, Sheriff, we understand there has been 14 unexplained deaths, and the lovely Jenny here thinks that there might be some sort of nefarious workings involved. Could you please fill us in?
Yeah, so we definitely know that something weird's going on, right? But nobody knows exactly what's going on. We've been having a lot of trouble. Locals are blaming the natives. You know how they get something to point a gun at. They do. They're saying that they're summoning some sort of rain monster that's coming down and taking people. I can tell you who to go speak with them. They're up the road. You travel towards sunset about an hour across the plain, but it's the plain where a lot of this has been going down, so a lot of people isn't looking to go that way. I've got a list here of all the 22 recorded deaths by drowning. You could go
22.
ahead and take a look at it. Well, yeah, but that goes back from town start, though. That's over the last 6 years or so.
That's not a long time for 22 drownings.
Well, no, but when you got 14 of them in the last year and a half, you see where we think the problem is.
And
Understood.
most of them have been, well, actually, all of the ones I've heard about, at least, and correct me if I'm wrong, Sheriff, have been westward migrants traveling by wagon or caravan in that same place.
Well, all of them suspicious ones, yes. See, that's where it started getting weird. We have, kids will be kids, people falling in the well, playing in the river during rain season, things like that. It happens. Doesn't take much. We had a couple drownings that were, well, let's just say, encouraged. But then, we got these 15 drownings that are a real big deal.
Might we ask, encouraged by who? The few that were?
Well, we had a mistress that was drowned by a wife, and then the wife was drowned by the husband, and then the husband was hanged.
A series of drownings in one line. Interesting. Okay.
That was something about revenge. You know how that goes.
Sadly, yes.
So anyway, yeah, it started, this 14 and 15, the trail caravan drownings was weird because we see flash flooding out there, but it usually ain't bad like that. Not the way these people went. If y'all want to head out that way, y'all got horses? Something to ride on?
Sadly, our only equine friend was left behind due to an oversight due to the railroad.
I do have a pack horse, Sheriff, and I'm sure I could convince some of my girls to give up their horses for a little bit.
We're gonna move several hundred miles back towards the city, where Buster sits, enjoying cool fresh water, and passing not a thought about Marley O'Sannesee. Well, good. So, I'm glad that you got a horse. It's a shame rest of you didn't bring like a mule or something, but you know what? The good thing is, it looks like Cletus ain't gonna be needing his wagon today, so we can just let you borrow that while we clean all this up.
Marley, doesn't look at the sheriff, but looks perturbed. Like he doesn't want the sheriff to think that he's angry at him, but he is still angry about not having Buster.
Detective Moss just puts his hand on your shoulder and squeezes. Just a gentle, reassuring squeeze.
Then Marley goes, do you guys have some place where you record things like weather patterns or history of the area or any of these types of things?
He just points at the lady. Well, that's what them folk doing, is all that kind of thing. I just, I hoot, I toot, I shoot, I keep things in order.
Can I roll investigate a mystery?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, since we've been talking to the sheriff here. That's gonna be an 11.
And he's provided you the notes that he has, also.
So, this is my thing. I rolled an 11. That means I get to hold 2. I get to ask, what happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here? I'm going to go ahead and go with a simple one of what is being concealed here, if anything, as I talk to the sheriff. Do I get that feeling?
The sheriff isn't concealing anything deliberately, but you definitely get the feeling that he's not super well informed. Like, he's taken his notes, he's taken his reports, but you can see from how he wrote his notes that he didn't really know where he was going. So it's like, okay, there was a murder, it was this guy, and this happened, and then it just sort of falls off there because, like, it was a drowning. I don't know what to do about a drowning.
Yeah.
Who do I hang? Water? Oops.
Yeah, he wrote it off as not his problem because it wasn't like a thing.
Yeah. So what you do get from that, though, is you're looking over his notes that he has, because he does have notes, and you get a couple of names. Most of them don't matter, but there's some notes on the last 3, which are specifically more detailed, because you can tell that this is when it started really piquing his interest, that something was wrong. Like we've discussed before, serial killers weren't a thing, so this just looks super fucking weird. Like, it's coincidence beyond coincidence, right? So, the most recent on the list just says the Jacobsons, and then penciled in next to it, Mr. Jacobson, buried the last date, family in town, not much details.
Okay,
Before that, it reads, Tariq Ahmad, found 10 paces from wagon, drowned, wagon wheel locked in a rock. Before that, Todd Weatherford and son, both dead, cart overturned, wrecked, drowned.
Okay. I have another hold But honestly, at this point, it doesn't seem like any of these actually matter. I'm just going to ask him sort of generally, is there a reason why you didn't want to speak to Mr. Jacobson as he was leaving town?
I mean, he's not leaving town. He and his family live here, but they've been through a lot, and the man just got done shooting 2 men dead. I'm not going to bother him with... If y'all want to go talk to him, you can, but I wasn't going to bother him about it. I'll disturb him later.
Is the man who died recently related to Mr. Jacobson?
As far as I know. I mean, they're both Mr. Jacobson. One would be led to believe.
Do you wish us, for some reason, not to question Mr. Jacobson about the loss of his loved one?
I mean, he's a fine fellow, and that's a rude line of topic, but I ain't going to stop you unless he files a complaint.
I wasn't going to question him as a suspect, more as a witness.
Asking about dead family has a tendency to go over poorly with people. The reason I haven't asked him myself is I don't know what to ask him, honestly.
We might.
Well, anything you can do to help me put a stop to whatever this is would be appreciated.
So, as I sort of established in the introduction, and as I established with you, the Keeper Mitch, in these 5 years, Marley's been kind of diving in a little bit more. He's been working jobs of the spooky ooky type.
Yeah, man.
And so like he knows a bit more than he used to. He's like he can see the signs and stuff like that. And with that being said, I also rolled to investigate a mystery. But I assume because of that, I'd be coming from a different point. I'm looking at different things, right? So with that being said, I rolled an 11, right? Because it's plus sharp, I believe.
Yeah,
sure.
It's plus sharp.
Yeah. So I rolled an 11. What are the questions I get to ask?
That was sort of my problem, but I'll go ahead and read them to you. They're very limited. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here?
So I'm going to go with what sort of creature is it? And what can it do? Because I can gather more tertiary information to sort of maybe draw that out, and I'm more likely than Moss to get that information. More
likely to beat it on something supernatural about what's going on, the information, than I would be.
Yes.
You don't get it.
Straight up? Damn.
But he rolled so
good. You're going
to hold
2. You're going to hold 2 on that.
Okay.
Because there's nothing here initially. Like, you're looking at it, you're reviewing it, but the guy just doesn't have notes on it. Like, the first one is just Bobby fell in a well. Fred drowning unknown. Maribel drowned by Susan. Susan drowned by Jack hanged for murder of Susan. Like, it's... And then he started getting details at the end here, but, like, he doesn't know what he's looking for.
So, I wanted to...
You can ask him questions, too, but the one thing that you notice that stands out when you're looking at his notes is, Miss Waters keeps talking about the 14 weird drownings. But as you scroll up the list...
Mrs. Waters.
Mrs. Waters keeps talking about the 14 drownings, but at the top of the list, with not a lot of notes, is a 15th drowning that matches the MO, which is what stood out to you, because you're looking for, patterns and things, right, that Moss wasn't. So, you noticed that there was a 15th.
Okay, just for clarification and reference sake, I wanted to be looking at more than just his notes and stuff like that. I also want to be looking at things about the area, what I know about, like, what signs, like, as far as weather patterns, and what questions to ask that are weird that other people would not ask. Like, like in a very sort of, has there been cow mutilations? Has, fucking, what's the sign that there's been a demon here, or this or that?
Marley's looking at everything that isn't the case file.
Let me give you what I'm giving you first, okay. And then if you want to ask him questions, you can do that. Wow. Or you can hold for observation, and I will just you'll be more perceptive to details as they come about.
Okay.
Yeah, you can use these questions later to get more information. This guy doesn't seem to know much, or you can ask him now. So the one thing that you do notice is that there is that 15th death that it just has a name, Mikael Ankerson, and family, deceased, wagon wreck, drowning, horses lost. So you do immediately see that. You pick that out where Mr. Moss had not.
Okay, and you're going to allow me to hold 2 moving forward?
So how are you sure that they are drowning? Do they show? Are they wet?
Have you ever seen a? Well, yeah. I mean, of course, that's how you know it's a So, Yeah, which one? I've personally investigated the last 5 or 6. I didn't personally investigate the others. There was just reports from people. Yeah, they're all wet, and
I know it seems redundant, but I'm simply asking you, what was the evidence that led you to drowning?
Well, they had.
And I guess my second question will be, what happened here?
So, and this is where it's going to start instigating for Marley too. Now that you've sort of given him a direction. Well, when we found them, they was all soggy wet, and they was in a wet area, and there was no gunshots, a knife in, or they turned blue, and they was mighty cold when we found them. A couple of them we found in the morning, that made sense. Desert gets chilly at night. One of them we found midday, and he was cold, wet, soaking through. We turned him over. Water came out the mouth. Whole wagon was just, wet as hell.
The whole wagon was wet.
The whole thing was, the area was wet. There'd been some sort of flood or something. I mean, man got thrown 10 feet from his stuck wagon. Something happened.
Aha. Strange.
So, Marley, what you're taking from that is, whatever it was, somehow threw a dead man 10 feet. Or threw a dying man 10 feet. Also, it's obviously water-centric, whatever this thing is, and it's leaving the corpses cold, even when they shouldn't be.
Okay. That doesn't give me any clues as to what it is. That
tips your hat towards thinking that it's some sort of death spirit.
Okay.
Right? Like, it's not like a werewolf that just eats, like, you die from blood loss. The reason you die from a werewolf is because he ripped your face off.
Right.
These guys are dying by drowning, but you've seen some things, old ghost stories and shit, the man at the dock, stuff like that. It's
right. This sounds
he doesn't have a lot of details for you yet.
Okay. So as far as what it is, I'm thinking somewhere near a death spirit. As far as what does it do, I believe that was my second question.
It looks like it kills them by drowning.
Okay.
But it's weird how it does it.
Okay.
Because most of the time, you get one of these water death spirits, like it's a siren. It lures you into the water and then eats you, or it lures you into a creek and then physically drowns you like a kappa, right? Things like that. But there's no creek, there's no water source, there's no there's rain.
It draws the water to it itself somehow. Okay, so I think it's maybe some sort of death spirit, potentially something summoned by the natives, but I don't know for sure yet.
Yeah, so it's checking in with what people have told you, but you don't have a real line on it yet.
Yeah.
Right now, the natives summoning something out of revenge sounds the most solid, but you don't have many details as to what. If y'all need more information, more specifics, I don't encourage y'all to bother them, but if you think you can help stop this from happening, maybe go ask Mr. Jacobson. He was there. He saw it. I'm just taking notes and records, but he saw how his kin went down, so...
That was going to be my final question, whether these people had always died alone or if there were others with them.
A couple of them had not, because I got reports in from people. Some people found a dead person. One of the wives, the man and his son, where was that note? And he's looking through his page, because Mitch can't find the note.
That's okay.
They're...
Assume that of the guy.
Their wife went out looking for him next morning and found him.
So they were alone. That is my...
I guess they was, yeah.
All right.
But the Jacobsons here, they was all together. Family was all together.
Well, thank you very much. Marley, I think that the sheriff has given us everything he can. And Jenny, do you have anything that you'd like to ask the sheriff? I assume you and him have already been talking.
Yes, we've already discussed this particular matter.
I imagine that you, Jenny, have probably better notes than our good sheriff here.
Yes, but again, I don't know too terribly much as I haven't been in town long.
Oh, thank you here, Sheriff, for all your assistance. And he takes his hat off, and puts it up against his chest and holds his hand out.
Best luck to y'all as well. I hope you can help us rectify this undesirable situation. And he takes his hat off with one hand, shakes your hand with the other.
We'll do our best to help you out.
If y'all want to talk to the Jacobsons, I believe the little girl's probably out at the learning with the ladies right now. Might be a good time to swing by. Wouldn't want to bother her nothing about it.
Absolutely.
They're down the road at the end.
And if I'd like to speak to the natives, do you know where
where
Yeah,
I can
you
find them.
head up the road, copy paste directions here. That way you can find them, but it's out across the plain where things been going down. So just, be careful. And if you want to take Cletus's cart, feel free to do so.
Oh, we most certainly will.
Next time his buggy's getting used is rowing him out to where he gonna lay, so.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sheriff.
Didn't y'all have another friend with you?
Oh, yeah. They're most likely back at the saloon. We'll find them shortly.
Orangey, you make your way back down the road towards the Jacobson's household, now that you know where it's at. You make your way down the road and you arrive at the Jacobson's house, a sarsaparilla, cold, chilled by ice in each hand.
Yes, I am coming to apologize for what I have done to that poor man's clothing.
When you arrive, there's nobody outside and the door's shut. There's no windows on this side of the home.
Is there like a table or something on this porch?
So now that you're closer, you can see that the buggy is a fast cart. It's the kind of cart used for travel, like local, not really long distance. But they've got a bunch of totes and chests that have been pulled up and set out around the house. And these things, they wouldn't fit on this buggy. But you can set your drinks on any number of those.
I'm gonna put them both down on the crate right here, just in case. I don't want to
be safe.
Yeah. And I am going to go and wrap the door.
Oh, yeah, 1 second, please. I'll be right there.
And Mr. Jacobson opens the door again. Oh, it's nice to see you. You're not here to spill more drinks on me, are you?
No. I did bring more drinks, but I left them here on the side, so to avoid that.
You brought one of them for me, I'm guessing?
Yes.
Well, I greatly appreciate it. A bit above my affordabilities in my current station, so thank you very much, sir. Would you like to come inside? And yes, he's called you sir and miss.
Yeah, I'm going to not even acknowledge it. Yes, please. And then I grab both the glasses and I follow him inside.
Mr. Jacobson leads you inside, and you hear a woman's voice in the back. Grant, darling, who is that up front? And he calls back, oh, it's just a person I met on the street earlier, Petunia. That ain't that some bitch spilled drink on your shirt, is it? I'm gonna be cleaning that thing. We got ants around it. Honey, it's different person, honey. Different person.
Good save.
Okay, so, well, she doesn't, maybe we don't tell her that I spilled these on you last time. Yeah?
No, I think we don't. I think we don't.
Okay, well, yeah, I brought you one of these to say sorry for the last time, but also, had a few questions, if you don't mind.
What's it about?
I think you know.
I'm sorry, forgive my manners. Thank you for the drink, but being a black fellow in a growing town, we get a lot of questions and a lot of them made fun. So I just bad demeanor about it. My apologies.
Understandable. I mean, just look at me. But either way, I think you know what the questions may be about. We heard
they shot first. They had it coming.
Not
on my
that.
side.
Oh no. I don't care for that. You lost a family member recently.
Oh yeah, that'd be my brother.
I'm very sorry for your loss, but we're actually here to, me and my friends are here to investigate the amount of drownings that has been happening.
Is that I mean, there's been more?
Quite a few more.
Sorry,
we were told about 14 or so.
We haven't been here long. We just came in that last week. We're still unloading. I'm sure you saw all the carts outside in the buggy. We're just getting settled in. It's,
yes.
Been rough with the loss of the brother and all.
Yes, my condolences. But would you be able to give me? I know this may be hard, but more details on how it happened.
I mean, if y'all think it's something, it was weird.
Might be able to help us stop it from continuing to happen if you're able to give me anything.
Anything I can do help prevent this from falling down on other families would be great. I hope you can find some way to fix it, but didn't seem like a fixable type thing, if you know what I mean.
For sure. I am. This is Ryan now. I am obviously investigating a mystery here.
Oh shit!
What? What are these?
Right?
No way.
Roll a d20.
I got a 6 and a 1 plus 2 sharp, so 18 or 8.
18.
Yeah,
D&D
right?
math, ladies and gentlemen. 6, 1, 2, 18.
So on a 7 and 9, I hold 1.
All right.
What happened here?
Where I guess where do I start? I guess there wasn't much to start about. You know about this area at all?
Not much. I'm not from here.
All right. I didn't expect so much. People don't dress like that around here. You seem like you were from out of town.
I can tell you for a fact, no one dresses like this anyway.
That's a weird choice you make there, friend. Are you familiar with Traveler's Flat?
No.
All right. How'd you get here?
The train.
All right. When you stepped off that train, you see them big flats up to that northeast, cutting into them mesas on the far side?
Yes.
That's Traveler's Flat. That's where people come in on wagons and buggies when they're migrating westward, like. And that's where we came in, too. And there wasn't nothing wrong. Everything was going great. I was in the buggy with the family, and my brother was in the wagon with all of our things. And, we were just coming through, big open flat area, easy haul. And the sky started getting dark like rain. Thought that was a bit weird, but, we don't live here, nothing, right? And the girl, she says she sees something, points up at the clouds, and we don't see nothing, just clouds. And rain starts coming down, and, we're just riding in the rain. Still easy. Starts getting a little bit muddy, but nothing too big a deal. And then I hear my brother's horses start to spook. And then my horses start to spook, but we ain't heard no thunder yet. So I look back, and I see my brother, fighting with his horses. And I've just got the mare, so it was an easier haul for us. And I handed my reins off to Petunia. And I look back, and I'm calling to him, and I ask him, hey, you need no help back there? And that's when we saw whatever it was. Water started rising up like out of the ground behind him, like a flash flood, right? That's when the water just comes up out of nowhere. And so we start driving real hard, and he starts driving behind us. I take the reins back from Petunia, and I didn't see much what happened after that because I was driving, but after a ways, I start to see water coming up under my horse's feet, and we were going real quick, and I hear a crash behind us, and I don't stop because whatever happened, I ain't gonna be able to help, right? So we just keep riding on, and after a few hundred yards, rain just peters out, water just flows back. It's just business as usual. I left the girls in the buggy, and I went back to check on my brother, and I found him, and the wagon was tipped over and cracked in half, and my brother was dead, drowned. It must have been, that flood or whatever. Now that's where we at. We loaded up our possessions, what wasn't damaged by the water. We loaded him up on the buggy, and we walked him back to get him buried.
What kind of position was the body in when you came across him?
It looked like he got tossed a bit, but, wagon was tipped over side-like, so I'm guessing he just hit a rock or something, couldn't see it in the water, flipped the wagon. Maybe he got knocked out. He was a few feet from the wagon.
Face down, face up?
I don't recall.
I see. Well,
I wasn't very cool about how I handled it,
Understandable. Do you know, or I imagine you know, where did you bury him?
Graveyard.
Is that nearby?
I mean, that's where
some people like to bury their kin on their land.
Oh, well, we ain't got that much land yet. See, we still staking it out what's ours, so we don't have land yet. We renting this house while we stay here, and then see we was gonna stake out our land, and then me and my brother was gonna build a house there. So we don't know now. Everything's all upside, right?
I see. I hesitate to ask, but perhaps I could speak to Petunia as well.
I mean, you can, but I wouldn't let her see those drinks sitting around. You call her out of that kitchen, she gonna see you. She gonna read you like a book.
Maybe we finish them really quick.
And it is at that time that the remainder of your accoutrement arrives.
Good, because now I'm out of sarsaparilla, and it's gonna get bad very quickly.
You're indoors, so you're all right.
Thank
you're
God,
all right for now.
The minute you step outside, though.
So anyway,
Others.
as I was telling you, Molly, what I found out is that if I show up and claim to be a janitor for whatever reason, I get paid twice as much. And that was just something I learned from the lovely Mr. Guthrie.
Huh, you don't say.
Yes.
Oh, that is quite an interesting development you found there.
Yes. Sadly, I think because I have no paperwork and my tools were broken on the way in, then I'll probably get paid half as much.
Yeah, gonna take a bit of a pay cut on this one, but we are traveling with our benefactor.
As he turns and looks at Jenny.
Maybe she'll cut you a deal.
I've tried before for whatever reason. It just seems to work out this way. It doesn't seem to be any control of hers. Anyway.
Fair enough.
I am in control of my finances.
Ah, yes. So our agreed upon terms are still... Wait, there were no agreed upon terms.
Hey, Keeper, how much are they getting paid?
You told them in the letter they would be paid well and in an enticing manner.
Okay, so how much are they getting paid? What is a fair amount?
I mean, what is a fair amount to you?
Yeah, you give them whatever level of sass you want because you're their boss.
Yes.
Yeah, we took this job without, like, confirming that, so you can technically
You
give us
very
whatever the hell you
clearly
want.
said they would be rewarded in an enticing and persuasive amount, so, I mean, you know.
I don't know what a proper amount is for.
None of us
Neither do we.
150 per person? I don't know how.
What?
I don't know if that's
Lord.
good.
Wow. Oh! I bow deeply to Jenny Waters.
We have established that you are very high rolling. I mean, you had an open tab, you had a train car pre-purchased.
No one has asked me where any of this money is coming from.
Yeah, you said you were a traveling librarian? Ha ha ha. And they get paid what now?
Oh, we don't get paid much, but I recently came into my late husband's, monetary value.
Ah. I'm sorry to hear about your husband.
Condolences about your husband.
It was a very tragic
It's always
accident.
hard.
Is it impolite to ask what happened to him?
Oh, he just got real sick one day out of the blue and passed away. There wasn't anything the doctors could do for him.
Ah, it's common. I'm sorry.
All too well known a tale you got there. Many have been as unfortunate.
So you arrive at the Jacobson's house, and Jeff, you're still looking for shit because your DM left your quest for information and curiosity unquenched, and you notice that all of the totes and crates outside are just wet, soaked wet, and many of them have water damage on them. Like
Still?
no, like they're
Still wet, even though it should have
they're
been
still
like,
damp, but they have water damage. But we're talking like water damage. Not they got wet a week ago, but like
Like that shit
these have been
sat
in the
in a
bottom
pool.
of a river. Yeah,
they're
exactly.
waterlogged.
Okay.
Yeah, they're like what? You're right. The wood should have dried out by now. It's been a week in Nevada, but it's still like damp to the touch, and
Okay.
there's obvious water damage in several places that doesn't quite line up with. I mean, unless it was already water damaged, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I know.
So that's what you guys notice on your way in. The door's shut, and you hear the quiet tones of Orangey Pritchett inside.
Anyway, I knock.
Inside, Petunia from the back calls out, Grant, how many friends you got coming over today? And Grant looks at you and quietly goes, how many friends I got coming over today?
3 more?
Honey, I think it was 4. And she just calls back, what the hell you mean you think it was 4? You know how to count, boy? You got 5 fingers. Is it more or less than that? Figure it out. You gonna invite guests over? You're not telling me while I'm cooking dinner? How the hell am I supposed to make dinner for a number of guests? I don't even know how many it is. You guys hear this from outside. It sounds heated.
Don't worry. They brought something for dinner. Don't worry.
Graham Jacobson looks you dead in the eye, Orangey, and he says, if I tell her they brought something for dinner and they didn't, y'all gonna be looking into different murders.
If they didn't, I'll figure something out.
It's all right, honey. It's all right. They're not hungry. They'll take care of themselves. It'll be all right. And this goes back and forth for a minute. You guys are standing outside for a pretty long time while you hear this argument about hospitality.
While they're arguing back and forth, I go and get the door.
Excuse me, Mr. Chick.
Orangey opens the door and Orangey looks shooken. Like Orangey is in a spot.
Orangey?
Yes, hello. How can I help you?
Well,
It looks hot out there.
I think you need to get in the house now.
Sure.
certainly. After
This
you,
is not my
ma'am.
house, but please come in.
Yes, this is what I was going to ask as we step in, but
Mr. Jacobson is standing in the doorway to the kitchen. He's got both hands on the door frame. He's obviously running blocker. He looks over his shoulder. He just nods quickly and
Just have a seat.
While we wait, Jenny.
Orangey, what have you learned thus far?
Mrs. Jacobson, let me help you.
Oh, she does know them. That's right. Okay.
Oh, honey, is that you?
Yes, it is.
Grant, why didn't you say we had Ms. Waters coming over? You know I like her company. Get the hell out of the way, you big oaf! And you see Miss Petunia for the first time, and she is a heavy-framed woman of African-American descent, and it becomes clear that Grant's attempt to bar the kitchen was never going to work. And she just bowls through him, and she comes in and gives Miss Waters just a huge hug, and then like they wander off back to the kitchen where she's making whatever the hell she was doing.
As that happens, I'm immediately hiding both sarsaparilla glasses behind my back, and I am deeply bowing. She takes no notice.
Do what I paid
She
you
sticks
for.
her head back in a moment later. Grant, you best wash that off you. I still smell that sarsaparilla. And then she gets back into the kitchen.
So, Orangey, what is it you learned?
Yes, Audrey, you seem tense.
Well, it's more because of Petunia back there, but Mr. Jacobson has let me know that his brother is the one that passed, and
Are y'all here to help?
yes,
help my new friend here?
Apologies, I'm very rude. These are my friends, Marley O'Sannesee and Detective Tate Moss. They are the friends I told you about. They're here to help us investigate.
Oh, you a full-on detective, sir. It's very nice to meet you. And he stands up and he's very formal and he brushes himself off and he offers you a chair at the table.
Marley, who's already got his hat off because he entered a building.
And
A home, yeah.
He's got his hat off and he's holding it near his chest, and he gives him a nod of acknowledgement. Good to see you again there, Mr. Jacobson.
You as well, my friend. Let me clear the space. And he just like knocks a bunch of shit off the top of some totes. Y'all can go ahead and set your hats here. Like I was telling your friend Orangey here, this isn't really our place. It's just a short-term stay, so we're not really set up to accommodate guests of this magnitude yet.
Oh, of course.
But if you're trying to help our family get justice or save, whatever y'all think you're gonna do, we're glad to help out.
We're just here to try to get to the bottom of things, is all.
Yes, so
If
as Mr. Jacobson told me, there was a flash flood as they were arriving in town, and they were able to get away, but his brother, on another wagon, did not fare so well, and when they went back for him, he had been drowned.
About how many minutes did the whole ordeal take?
I don't kindly know, sir. It felt like an eternity, but it couldn't have been more than a few minutes. Whole thing, start to finish, it was real weird. Couldn't have been more than a few minutes.
Were there any clouds in the sky prior?
Well, we hadn't seen rain for a few days once we started hauling in, but we got about halfway across Traveler's Flight, and clouds start blowing in, which ain't super unusual, but then it got real dark and real wet real fast.
You keep saying we.
Yeah.
Who was
Me
with you at
and-
the time?
Myself and
You part of a wagon
Petunia.
train?
Well, yeah, I was on. Sorry, that's right. Y'all weren't here. I've been talking to Orangey about this for a minute. It was me and the family. It was me and Petunia and my brother and my niece. So how you been, darling? I ain't seen you around a couple days. How the girls doing at the schoolyard, library, whatever you calling it these days?
Both a school and a library right now, but yeah, everyone's doing well.
Oh, that's good. How's Jenny been doing? She's doing good in her classes? She's still doing all the reading and writing like she's supposed to?
Yeah, she is. She's been a very good student.
Alrighty. She should be home sometime soon, right?
Yes, by my reckoning, it should be in a little bit.
That's what I thought. You mind helping me spatchcock that up over there?
Oh, not a problem.
So, what y'all asking about? I mean, I heard what your friend was asking about in the other room, but y'all think you can do something about it?
Yes, it was just tragic what happened to your brother-in-law, and me being a learned woman with some connections, I thought that I would contact Detective Moss and company to see if they could assist.
Well, darling, you done got yourself a detective and a whole company. You've been doing right well by yourself. You keep taking care, and we appreciate everything you've been doing around town.
Well, I'm glad that it's been appreciated. And how are you after the whole ordeal?
I mean, we're all right shook up, but we doing all right. Jenny's been doing the schooling. Probably hardest on her having her dad go like that. And she's still a bit shook up about things, not quite sure what she saw, but it's gonna be hard for us. It really put a splinter in our plans,
And, what plans were those?
Oh, well, we was gonna build our estate out here. We're staking land, but it's gonna be hard to get the building done with just Grant Honey there. It's, it's supposed to be he and his brother for me and his daughter, but, we only got one builder now, so it'll be a challenge, I'm sure, but we'll pull through.
I'm sure you will. Can you, if it's not too much trouble, I mean, I know the menfolk in there are also asking their questions, but is there anything else that you might be able to tell me about the event, just so I can fill them in?
Yeah, I didn't get a real great look at what was going on, because I was mostly holding the reins for Grant there when he was looking back on his brother, and then he got scared and turned around pale as white folk, and he said, "We gotta go." And so I gave him the reins back, and Jenny started screaming about monsters or something, but she said she saw some big bird or something before the rain came in, so I don't know, but she got real shook up about it. I was just making sure she didn't fall over or something, All that rain, all that water, you don't want your kids falling out your buggy.
Oh yes, definitely, most certainly not. And I'm sure that it was just a figment of a child's imagination. I mean, I'm sure in that tragic of a time,
oh yeah, I mean, we all know how fright does things to the mind. You see all kinds of things when you're terrified. We got it. We understand. And she's so young, such a sweet and creative heart, too.
Yes, and we can certainly see that through her schooling.
Well, I'm glad she's learning well. And it's at about that time that you hear another knock on the front door. And you're in the kitchen with Petunia, and she just yells out, "Oh, don't worry about it, honey. Grant, that better be our little Jenny, or you're gonna get a whooping." And she just, throws a belt out the doorway, and you in the other room, Grant bolts the fuck up. And he makes it to the door in record time. And it is Jenny. And one of well, you guys don't know this, but one of Miss Waters' accomplices.
To be clear, we have a Jenny and a Janie.
Yes.
That is
confusing as
all
heck.
right.
Let's do it.
And remember that Janie's got a gun, not Jenny.
Yes, exactly.
So Jenny, the door opens up and Jenny comes running in. "Auntie Petunia!" And she just blows past y'all motherfuckers because she knows that there's food in the kitchen and that's where Auntie Petunia is, and she just bolts right past there. Orangey and Miss Waters know that the only other known surviving witness is the girl.
I talk to Grant. I say, "Pardon me, Grant. Do you mind if I talk to your niece then?"
What about?
"I just want to know what she saw."
You can ask her if you think it's gonna help, but it's gonna get her all riled up, and she's just gonna feed you a whole line of nonsense.
And sometimes there's just a bit of truth in that nonsense. And that's what I'm looking for.
We've grown quite accustomed to getting a lot out of nonsense, if it's okay, Mr. Jacobson.
Well, y'all are the professionals here, so I'll defer to your judgment. Just try not to get her shook up too bad, eh?
Of course. And I go into the kitchen, and I go, "I hate to interrupt you fine ladies. You fine lasses." There we go. "I hate to interrupt
Jenny
you
is
fine
just sitting
lasses.
there with a spoonful of sugar.
But, could I, steal Jenny there for a moment? Just for a small word."
And she does the toddler twist, which if you don't have a kid or don't know what that is, obviously you're trying to take her spoonful of sugar. So she has positioned her body defensively between you and her treasure.
I go, "I don't want your sugar there. But I do want to ask you some questions."
And she just looks at you. "What you got for me?" Because toddlers are fucking thugs.
This sounds like
Go
I'm
for
good
it.
at someone, and this is the thing I'm good at.
It's gonna be great when the toddler wins this, because
So-
that's just true to life.
So once you've given the target... So first of all, this one's specific. You need to give them a reason to do what you want first. Tell them what you want them to do, then roll plus charm.
I already told him what I want. I already told her what I wanted to do. Right? I
wanna
answer my
talk to her.
questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
What
And
I'm going to.
her retort, her quid pro quo, so to speak, is what you gonna do for me?
I reach into my pocket and I pull out a quarter and I go, "You like sweets?"
And she goes, "That's a quarter, stupid." Petunia slaps her on the back of the head and says, "Be nice." And then she looks up at Marley and says, "That is a quarter, though. You said sweets."
Listen, I'm well aware it's a quarter. But with this quarter, you could buy 2 months' worth of sweets. You want to buy the sweets with this here quarter?
And at that, her eyes light up. Now you roll your, now you can roll your
And
charm.
it's an 11.
That's good, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that is a success.
Okay.
They will do it as long as you reward them as promised.
All right. So she shovels the rest of the sugar from the spoon in her mouth, and she spits the spoon out on the table, and she hops up and she goes, "Gimme!"
Oh, after we're done having our chat.
And her mama goes, "Don't you go filling their heads with none of that nonsense about monsters."
Oh, no, I want to hear everything you have to say.
And yeah, so that's what she tells you. Oh, you guys want me to actually give you the... God damn it. I gotta give you the actual information.
Yeah, bud.
Man,
bud.
where's your sense of imagination,
Almost like
guys?
it's a
Come
murder
on.
mystery, and you're the one giving us all of the mystery.
Jenny, not Janie, runs into the other room. And Jeff, roll an act under pressure.
Fuck, okay. What's that plus?
Cool.
Cool.
6. That's still a failure, right?
Yeah, it is. 6 or less.
Yeah.
Cool.
Doing great, bud.
The toddler runs by, and she swipes your quarter right out of your hand.
Ah.
Just yoinks that shit on the way by. Like, you try to pull your hand back, but you were not quick enough.
Well, yeah. Well, you better give me what you owe me. A deal's a deal, then.
She moves into the other room, and she just goes, "I know!" over the back of her shoulder as she moves into a small room in the house. You just hear Petunia call out, "Don't you go filling their heads with nonsense now, you hear?"
You keep saying that.
Janny is going to run after the child.
I will follow.
Yeah, so she just ducks into what you guess is her room. It's not much of a room.
Just
It's just
imagine
got a...
this group of strangers and her family just piled up in the doorway, like following this kid around.
That's exactly how having children works, Jay, yes.
Yes.
And so she just props herself up on a wardrobe, and she goes, "So what you want to hear?"
I want to hear the whole story of what happened that awful night. Everything you
I
saw.
keep telling everybody, and they get all worked up. I saw monsters.
Tell me about the monsters. What kind of monsters?
They took Daddy.
What kind of monsters? What did they look like?
Well, there was a big bird, and it was flying in the sky in front of the clouds, and it was flapping its wings, and it was kind of pretty. And then there was the man in the cart, and he was really scary, and I think he got Daddy.
What did the man in the cart look like?
White, like
white
but
as a
like
sheet?
not. Yeah, like like the paper, Miss Waters, like that nice expensive paper you guys have, white like that.
Ah, white is a piece of white is a piece of paper then.
But that really fancy kind. What is it? Veloom?
Yes, very good.
Which, for those of you who may not know, vellum it's pretty white, but it's also got kind of a yellow, waxy texture to it.
Mitch's random fact.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So, white as a sheet of vellum.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
In his...
And his
Yeah.
features?
He was big and scary.
Did he have long hair or short hair?
I couldn't
How
tell.
was he dressed?
In clothes, he had a jacket, and he had big boots on.
Was his dress closer to mine or closer to
She
Mr.
points at
Moss's?
Moss.
Of course.
Not like mine.
No, you look weird.
Okay.
From the mouths of children.
Now, Jenny, that's not very nice.
Hey, fair.
It's true. Look, they're weird. She points at Orangey again.
I look in a mirror. I don't see anything. No.
Orangey was a vampire all along.
All right. And that's all you saw? You saw the big pretty bird in the sky,
Yeah,
and you seen the
man on the
scary
wagon.
man in the
The
wagon.
scary man on the wagon, yeah.
And that's it.
What wagon was he in?
I don't know. A broken wagon.
The wagon with your
So, your
with
daddy's
your dad,
wagon.
or with your uncle?
No, he was behind my daddy's wagon.
He was in his own wagon.
Oh, he was in his own wagon. What
Yeah.
did the wagon look like?
Well, you can't catch a wagon on foot. Everybody knows that. They move too fast.
So
You know what? You're right.
did he have horses with his wagon?
No. Well,
What was drawing his wagon?
water.
Water was drawing the wagon.
Yeah.
Or at least that's what it looked like.
riding on a
No, it was water.
wave? Riding on a wave of water, or like the water was pulling
What's
it?
a wave?
Yeah, she ain't never seen the ocean. She don't know what a wave is.
Was it like was it like
Was
the
it
wagon?
riding-
Small
Was it
wall
like
of
the
water.
wagon was driving on a river, or was the river pulling the wagon?
Yeah.
Weird.
Okay, so both.
Yeah. Like a
So,
boat.
So it was on.
Was it a
the
boat?
water, but it was carrying
Yeah,
the water.
boats are on water.
What?
Boats go on water.
Yes, that's
Ginny,
correct.
What was the last thing that you saw?
Auntie Petunia's hands. She was trying to cover up my eyes because I was saying I saw monsters, but I don't know what happened after that.
I turned to Aunt Petunia. Do you remember this moment?
I remember her. I told you I heard her screaming about monsters. I covered her eyes to try to get her to calm down because, I mean, we all know monsters ain't real. I was just trying to make sure she didn't fall out. It got right bouncy, bumping around quite
Were
a bit.
you looking the same direction as her?
Well, I was just looking at her. I was just trying to make sure she stayed in.
Ah.
I didn't really see right what was going on.
Yeah, she was busy controlling the horses.
Seems hard to miss.
Yeah, I was helping. I was helping Grant, honey, with the horses, and then I was helping just to make sure we didn't lose her too. You know,
Yes.
kids fall out of wagons all the time. It don't go well for them.
I understand. You don't need to defend yourself.
No, I just didn't see nothing. That's all. I wish I could help you more.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to know if there was anything that could corroborate.
Okay.
Do we have any holds? Are we going to do investigate a mystery? I feel like this time around, Marley has definitely led this one. I would just like to help him.
Yeah. Do my 2 holds prior of what it is and what it does? Do those ring any clearer now? Is it like, this is like this kind of death spirit? Maybe.
Marley doesn't know what a thunderbird is, right?
Right.
Like not like the thing, but
Right.
this kid described a bird that was. So you're thinking that there's some sort of rain spirit involved because there was a bird flying through the sky with storm clouds behind it. That seems fairly obviously connected to those two things, but like you don't know if that's in any way at all connected to the actual accident.
Yeah.
And then
then I'm just gonna...
that the scary man,
Mhm.
as far as you can tell, sounds like she was describing someone dead.
Right. That would be the death spirit that I'd already previously thought about.
Yeah, and he was riding on a broken wagon, which, you know, again, dead things have a tendency to just sort of break reality on terms of broken stuff doing stuff.
Okay. Then I'm going to look at Jenny. I'm going to go, well, you earned your quarter there. I think I've got about all I need out of your stories, and I appreciate
You got any sweets?
telling me what you had. I don't have any sweets on me. All I had was that quarter.
Okay, and she leaves.
I turn to Petunia and I go, thank you kindly for letting us in your home, no matter how temporary it may be, and for answering all our questions. You were
She starts to say something,
kind and gracious.
like she opens her mouth and holds up her hand, and then you hear the back door open, and she just bolts. Because the toddler has kept fucking going.
Well,
Supposing
Thank you
we should go
again.
check on some other leads, then.
yes, thank you, Jacobson, for allowing us in your home and everything.
Y'all say you're trying to help, and we all appreciate that. You know, it's horrible to have that happen to anybody, and if we can help that not happen to somebody else, that would just be, that's the best thing I think we could do, right?
That's our whole plan.
Absolutely. I believe we'll have it all cleared up for you here in no time.
He hands you your hats, and he walks you to the door.
Yeah. Marley takes his hat, steps outside, and after you've gone a few steps away from the house, Marley goes, well, I don't mean to be taking the lead from Detective Moss and his company, but I believe next we're going to the natives. But if anybody wants to make a stop and get more prepared, that's about towards where the danger is, according to all the stories.
Oh, hey there, Tavern Goer. It is I, Ryan. I'm here to tell you that, in case you haven't noticed, we just finished a monstrous campaign. Our first campaign. which means there's gonna be a second, which we are working on currently. But until we can bring you Torchlit Tavern Season 2, Campaign 2, we've got your favorite holiday apps coming at you nice and hot. If these holiday hijinks aren't enough to tide you over until the next campaign, mosey your way on over to twitch.tv/Torchlit Tavern, where you'll find Jeff leading a bunch of friends through a little thing that he likes to call Wacko Mundo, and maybe even a few behind-the-scenes things about Campaign 2. You can find that on Wednesdays, like I said, on Twitch. What Wednesday? I don't know off the top of my head, but you know where you can find that information on our socials. That is at Torchlit Tavern on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on all those wonderful things. Even Patreon, if you really like us and want to give us a little money to keep doing what we're doing. And you know where else you can even find us? TorchLitTavern.com. Questions, comments, concerns, send them there. Or to any of the places that I just mentioned. Well, that's all I got for you today, but until next time, gang, smell you later.
Our theme song was written and originally performed by Mason Santos.
All music and sound effects for this episode were brought to you by Epidemic Sound. Check out our referral link to their website in the episode description. Additional sounds in this episode are brought to us by freesound.org.
This episode was edited by Ryan Santos and Jameson Oxford. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget,
Heroes is boring.